And let's talk about progress, because that seems to be the buzzword coming out of the Detroit Tigers front office Friday. Friday, the Detroit Red Wings introduced their new coach, and at the press conference, the owner of the Detroit Tigers was asked about how he felt about the progress of the Tigers. Now listen, let's be very clear up front that Chris Ilitch is not directly to blame for this team yet. He's not directly to blame for this team. But the comments that he made at that press conference show his inability to realize what reality is. Let me read you his comments. He was asked about the progress. He said, "I'm very pleased with the progress of the Detroit Tigers." Notice that. Not pleased, not okay with, very pleased. Despite a slow start to the season, we're almost halfway through the season, but despite a slow start to the season with our team, there's actually some good progress happening with some of the young guys that have come up and developed and so on and so forth. Chris, tell me you don't know what's going on in this team without telling me you don't know what's going on in this team. So on and so forth. The development of young players. What growth and development have we seen from young players? This team is 17 games below 500. 538 projects them as a 66-96 baseball team. 11 games below the mark that they won last year. That's progress? I want to talk about young guys. Green's been phenomenal. Mize is out with Tommy John surgery. Turnbull's out with Tommy John surgery. Jake Rogers is out with Tommy John surgery. Torkelson's having trouble adjusting. Okay, now I don't want to give up on Torkelson, but he is statistically the worst rookie in baseball right now. Mistake pitches over the middle and he fouls them off or grounds them. He's not making pitchers pay. But I don't want to give up on him. I don't think that him being in AAA is going to do anything other than allow him to see the bat hit the ball, which could be good. There's value in that. But it might be better for him to learn and struggle and learn through the struggles up here. But the minors are now filled, like our farm system, which was touted as one of the best in baseball, really propped up on just a few, Mize, Green, and Torkelson type guys. Skubal you could throw in there, though he came on and kind of came out of nowhere. But it's filled with a bunch of guys that are average or below average MLB players. It's not like there's some savior that we can look at coming for fans to kind of rest on. That was Green. He's come up. He's been great. But there's really nobody else on the farm. And this lays squarely on the shoulders of Avila. And we've laid out all the horrendous deals that have led to this point. And, now everybody wants to point to the deal that was made for Isaac Paredes and Austin Meadows at the beginning of the season as like the next failed deal, which on the surface level it is. Listen, Paredes has hit the ball very hard, 13 home runs, driving in. There was even an article on DSN of how he came back from the dugout after a home run, and, one of the players said that, the Tigers are effing idiots. So now the Tigers are the joke of other teams as well. And the reality is they probably gave up on Paredes too quickly. But at the time of the deal, it really wasn't a bad deal. The issue with the deal is what you're starting to see right now, is that you're looking at potentially not having a third baseman next season because there's a potential that Jeimer Candelario could go the way of Matthew Boyd and could go the way of James McCann being non-tendered. And the other part that makes the deal look worse is the fact that Jonathan Scope has just been completely struggling this year. It would be great to still have Isaac Paredes in the minor leagues and be able to let go of one of those two guys and let him get some run. He never got consistent run with the Tigers, so we didn't really truly know what we had. But that speaks to the problem of what we're saying with Avila. There's no depth on this team. There's really no hope beyond what we see on the Major League club right now because of the way the roster's been structured. The only thing that you can hope to do is to deal some of the prized assets to actually build a team, which they've not done. They built a great pitching staff, but not a great team. But when you look at who's making those deals, you have to wonder, can Al really do it? He traded J.D. Martinez, and not a single one of those assets returned contributed to the Tigers in any way. He traded JV, and the verdict's most likely going to be the same. Compare that to somebody like a Rick Hahn with the White Sox, who wheeled and dealed, got massive returns for lesser products. Got a great return for Jose Quintana, which is not the same quality of pitcher dealt like a Justin Verlander. But yet he made a great deal. And he's created a good team that's just had some really bad injury luck this season. But the bottom line is this. If Avila is the GM of the Detroit Tigers beyond this season, and I'm telling you, I would have handed him his walking papers after the game yesterday on Sunday. Then if he's still the GM after this season, it's pure negligence on Chris Ilitch's part. And he can save us the process talk and the rebuild is over talk and the attitude that we just have to trust the process and be patient. But we've been patient. It's been 8 years since the Tigers were in the playoffs. And for the last 6, they've been out of contention by the All-Star break. We've been patient. We don't need to be patient any longer. What we need you to do is put a good product on the field. Is build a contender. We're not asking you to take shortcuts. We're not asking you to buy your way out of it necessarily, but get somebody at the helm that can actually build a baseball team. That's the problem. So, Chris, when you talk about progress, I don't know what you're talking about. There has not been progress. In fact, you could almost argue that there has been regression. From 77 wins down to a projected 66. And it may take a miracle for them to get another 36 wins this season. That's not progress. Reilly Green's been great. Spencer Torkelson has struggled. Do I think Spencer Torkelson's going to continue to struggle? Not for the rest of his career. But it's going to be a rough season. What developments have led you to believe that this is progress? This is not progress. And if your trust is in Avila, it's misplaced. We've been patient. The time for waiting is over. So save us the talk about process. Save us the talk about progress. Because we are not idiots. We are not dumb baseball fans. We know the game. We can see the numbers. We can understand the fact that we are the worst offensive team in Major League Baseball. That's not progress. Not anywhere close to progress. Give us what we deserve.